Hello everyone, how are you doing? Today I'm gonna talk about a stage in the lesson that's being ignored by so many teachers, either because they are not aware of how to implement it, or maybe they don't have enough ideas on how to do it in classes, or one of the most important factors why it is being ignored is because lack of time management. This phase is called the closure. The closure phase is the last phase in a lesson. Let's check together how to do it in a very creative way. First of all, let's discuss together why it is important to have a closure to a lesson. Closure is the final phase in a lesson in which the teacher assesses the understanding of the students and make sure that everyone in the class understood the lesson perfectly in a good way. So most of the time, students by the end of the class are thinking about the recess, or maybe they are thinking about eating or having fun with their friends outside of the class. Before you allow them to go outside of the class, you need to make sure that they understood the lesson in a very high percentage, so they don't go back home telling their moms and their parents that they didn't get anything from today's lesson. One of the very common strategies to check the understanding of the student or to close your lesson is the exit card. We can make it or we can implement it in so many different ways. I hope this is clear. We can ask the students 3 questions starting with WH. We can ask them, what did we learn today? Why is this important? And where will the next lesson take us? So you urge them to think about today's lesson and correlate it or predict what it's going to lead us to in the next lesson. The second closure activity is called the finger pull. Excuse my drawing, I'm not very good at drawing. Okay, in this activity, you ask them to hold their hands up and show you on their fingers how much did they understand the lesson. Of course, showing 5 fingers means that they understood it perfectly. Showing 1 finger means that you need to exert more effort, to elaborate it more, or to work on it for the next lesson. The third closure activity is called quiz trade, and it's something really very interesting for students because they feel like they are teachers. In this activity, you ask your students to prepare a small quiz for their peers. It could be true or false, it could be WH. Let them write them on papers or give them sticky notes to write their questions on them, and then let them pick one of their friends to ask them this quiz. Quiz trade. The fourth idea for doing a closure activity with your students is to allow them to express their feelings about today's lesson. Show them this chart and make them use their faces or their facial expressions to show you how much did they like today's lesson. If they are so happy, they will smile a lot. If they are sad, they will show you that they are sad and they didn't understand it. And by this way, you will get about their feelings towards today's class. Thank you so much for watching today's idea, and wait for more. Bye bye.